sure.
So where are we going, guys?
For 2 hours like this.
Houma, baby.
Where?
Houma.
Houma?
Miss Molly says, Houma, baby.
Should we do a real introduction?
Hi, I'm Ken. I'm from Minneapolis.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Nesmith with the USS KIDD Veterans Museum, and welcome to the channel today. I'm not looking at the camera because I'm driving, but over on my right we have a very special visitor from Buffalo at Naval Park, Shane Stevenson.
Hello.
Back directly behind me is our newest member of the team, Omar Girona.
Hola.
And riding in the middle on the hump is our very special guest from Minnesota, Ken Stano from History X, Minnesota. And all the way back behind Shane, keep my hands on the wheel, is Miss Molly.
Hi.
And we are driving down
Celebrity.
to Houma today to Drydock.
No problem, please.
We figured we would give you a little footage of just a bull session, just talking about ships, talking about dry dock, talking about whatnot as we're going. So, opening the floor. Take it away, guys.
Yeah, Ken, you were talking about something that you were...
I thought you didn't want me to talk about
Oh, gotcha. Well, yeah.
That shall remain in the vault.
it. Well, can I finish asking my question?
And we cut.
Pretty sure Houma is where also, and correct me if I could be wrong, remember when they did Pirates of the Caribbean, they had the Black Pearl? It was staged there. It might have been partially built there as well.
I think the barge Black Pearl, not the eventual real ship that they built.
Some of them was built
The
there.
barge with the shell on it for the first movie, I think that was built
Someone
there.
in the comments can correct me, but
No, what is that movie?
say it again.
What's that movie you're talking about?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh.
Where's the rum? The Disney version.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yep. Never
Is there
saw
another
them.
version? Probably not.
So how long have you guys been down? How long have you been making this drive? Weekly?
Yeah, almost a year. May of 2024.
Tim's done a lot.
So are they going to be further along on the painting? Like, or I guess we'll just find out when we get there.
We'll find out when we get there, but yeah, they were taking the superstructure first and getting all that taken care of, and the main deck, O1 level, O2 level. And then the hull was coming last because they have to finish up the hull work, the props, not the props, but the strut, not the struts, the shafts for the props, and get all that work finished before they started painting on the hull. So the hull will be the very last thing that they So she was wearing measure 22 by the time she got hit by the kamikaze on A-45.
So was the kid in the Pacific during the surrender?
And right now,
She was in Hawaii, and but the San Diego Hawaii route.
Yeah.
She had headed back to Hawaii when they dropped the bomb,
Okay.
and then they said, "Hey, war's over. They're surrendering. Can we go back home?" And they're like, "No, keep going." And so she stayed around Hawaii for a little while. Surrender happened, and they stuck when they finally gave her orders to go home to San Diego. They stuck 200 combat Marines from Guadalcanal. They pulled them off Guadalcanal, got them to Hawaii, and then they stuck them on Kidd. Kind of, it wasn't officially part of Magic Carpet, you know. But they're like, take these boys home, and you know from Sullivan's. You know, a full wartime crew of 330, and then you stick another 200 on, you got 530 people on that little bitty destroyer.
Yeah, for 6 days or 7 days.
Whatever the route was to San Diego, yeah, about a week, I think. And got a great story from our youngest World War II officer at the time. He said that one of his deck, he was in charge of the deck force, he said one of his deck guys came up to him. He's like, "Mr. Barnhouse, I have a problem, sir." He's like, "What's that, son?" And he said, "Well, one of those Marines is asleep in my bunk, sir, and it's my sleep period. I don't know what to do." And he's like, "Son, those guys have been living in the jungle. They're combat Marines. They've been in combat in the jungle for months now. don't touch it.
Right.
If you value your life, find somewhere else
Yes,
to sleep.
right.
So,
Wow.
Yeah,
That is a great story.
so
So
yeah,
it all
she
comes down to impressions. You know, you
she
could say,
finished
well,
up
how
the
many
war
views
in
does it
Measure
have? It's like,
22,
well,
and then
yeah,
when
that's
they
one metric,
when they
but
brought her back
it's
for
all about
Korea,
how many times
and
you
I
must
forget
have
the
taken it to
measure that they
somebody
had
who
for
watched
that, but it was the standard gray.
Yeah, I'm at
Gray,
a
yeah.
frustrating point right now.
Not
It might be
the
measured-
not the haze gray.
A
They
lot of time
took
in
out the
these videos,
bluer
they don't
tones
Okay.
and made it more gray tones for peacetime and Cold War. And it's pretty much, I think, the same haze gray that everything has now.
Yeah. Yeah, very similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that
Measure 5.
I'm not sure. I really don't know. You would know better than I because you have
Well, I
Sullivans
don't.
in a Cold War
Yeah,
configuration.
I don't. I can't remember. Yeah, just that typical haze gray underway.
Yeah,
Shadow letters
yeah.
or numbers.
The large numbers and everything.
Yeah, no, are we? Okay, we don't have to.
Although the Sullivans that's currently in service today, their nameplate is painted green, which I find pretty fabulous.
That's neat.
Not the standard black. So I'm not suggesting that we do that for 537, but
Yeah.
let them do that, of course, and they deserve to do that. But it's just an interesting little quark in the, it's just not the Sullivans in black like traditional.
Right. And that
I
whole
was
change in peacetime colors confuses model builders, confuses
Yeah.
artists and everything. They're like, they find haze gray, but they get the modern haze gray when they go looking. And
Right.
then they start their work and they're like, whoa, this is not the right color. And then they start talking to somebody like us and they're like, why is yours so blue? Your color's wrong. It's like, no, ours is the wartime colors. The Navy Department changed stuff up.
As they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have it, the paint scheme the same from 70 years ago for Korea.
And camouflage really went out the window when radar came along.
They have some
Yeah.
things nowadays.
When
Radar made it really ineffective.
Some people like love Zapps.
You know,
If we're vibrating a little bit, folks, we just got on the Airline Highway, which
What is
a
this
lot of-
called?
Airline Highway.
Airline Highway.
And
Makes sense.
it was the first long stretch of highway built in the 50s from New Orleans to Baton Rouge, and eventually extended all the way across the state to the Texas border. But they named it Airline Highway. I found out just a couple of days ago because it has such long straight stretches.
It's like a runway.
It's not like River Road, which was the main way to get there, was a 2-lane dirt road that just curved with the river back and forth. So long stretches like this reminded people of airplane runways.
Without getting the touchscreen. I read something.
So we are headed south.
We are headed south.
Okay, gotcha.
We will cross the Mississippi River at Gramercy because I like to avoid the elevated bridges, which
time out.
there's
Shane flipped the camera.
I did.
So,
I did.
oh, he did it on purpose.
I did do it on
Yeah.
purpose.
Oh, he's not.
Because I wanted to show this open road thing.
Isn't it beautiful though? I mean, just look how gorgeous it is.
So,
Yes, it is. I love it.
That's why I
We
flipped the
start to-
camera, boys and
When you're in a
girls.
swamp, it gets really pretty.
Yeah, flip it again.
What?
Flip the camera
Flip the
again.
camera and then like flip it again. So like flip it,
yeah.
flip it again. There's that other thing I know.
We want to give you motion sickness. That's why we're doing this.
We're here to ruin your day.
Yes.
Yeah, just Ken. He's so,
Right.
he's so thrilled.
But no, we're coming up on the left up here. There's actually a very old, well, not old. It's like a fishing club, I guess you would call it. I've gone to a wedding there, and that was really amazing. Like, honestly, it was something special. White boots and everything. And we're almost to where Zapps were invented. So if you guys like Zapps potato chips, it's up here on the left in Sorrento.
Our field day crew several years ago, the volunteers coming in from all over the country to work on the ship for a long weekend, fell in love with Zapp's potato chips,
Yep.
and they were just emailing and calling me, bugging me like, "Oh my God, Tim, you gotta send me care packages of Zapp's. I'll send you a check. I'll send you money." And I'm like,
Please do.
"Go online and order it.
They're on
They have a
Amazon now.
website." And
They're on Amazon now.
one guy from the second kid, the 993, ordered something like a box of 30 bags of chips, and he
That's
ordered
tough
3
now.
boxes of 30, and the idea was he was going to have some in reserve and everything. His daughter took 1 box away from him. His wife took his box, and so he had to hide the third box, like in the attic or something, and go up and like nibble.
Yeah, it's like
on chips.
it's like a drug.
Yeah.
Right?
So every once in a while, I get an email from him. They took my Zapps again. I got to
So,
reorder.
what makes this potato chip so special?
I'm going to let you guys answer it because it's
Why
more
is
of a
that so
South
special?
Yeah,
Louisiana.
what makes them so
So
special?
other than being kettly crispy, you know, like they're that kettle,
they're
kettle
kettle?
crisp.
Very crunchy.
They have a Cajun crawl tater. They have what they call gator pickle style, or I'm not sure the exact terminology. Very southern Louisiana
Flavors.
Yeah. Instead of just being like a pickle chip, it's got a little kick to it. The Cajun crawl taters taste just like crab, crawfish bowl. You know, it's like you open the pot, but you have that in your mouth. It's delicious.
Oh, yeah.
There's voodoo as well.
Voodoo is like an assortment of many different
Oh.
flavors. You get a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of crunch, a little bit of everything. Those are very, very popular.
This
They're
is not a paid endorsement.
No,
however,
Zapp's.
Zapp's, if you're listening, we
We
do
are a
take
non-profit,
sponsorships.
Zapp's. Please save us. Help. Zapp's. Mom.
We need a hard cut.
We need-
here,
yeah.
Just a shot of us all eating out of a bag.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, here's this is the fishing boat club I was telling y'all
Good
about.
idea.
Oh, yeah.
This is a very
Oh
romantic
wow!
place. Yeah,
this
it's
is new. They didn't have this
St.
when
James
Molly
Boat
and I
Club,
came
baby.
last.
Anyways, you go in there.
Oh,
it's
look
all
at that.
wood
Yeah.
paneling.
Time to get married.
Yep, they got married right there on the water. It's beautiful.
You're not my type, Shane. Sorry. And I'm already taken.
You're spoken for.
I'm spoken for.
But back to the Zapps. Zip Zaps. People just love them because they're really unhealthy for you, and they have a lot of flavor.
Sounds like I would love them.
Which pretty much is everything made in Louisiana.
Yes. Yep. and
Is it
we're-
ZAPS?
PGS.
Is
Double
it
P.
zonks? Do you spell it zonks? What is it called?
Zapp's.
Zapp's.
So,
two
sad
Ps.
story now. Let's go ahead and get to the real sadness. They were family owned for a very long time. And the Utz family, the Utz company,
I know that.
they bought Zapp's. And Zapp's, the original location up here, slowly shut down.
Yeah.
And they've moved the whole production out of the state of Louisiana.
So they bought-
Shame on you, Zapp's. We don't want your sponsorship.
They bought the name, but they didn't.
We want your
We want the sponsorship, but no, it was an emotional thing for a lot of people because they're from here, you know. So
Yeah, now the people are losing their jobs and stuff, right?
well, you know, you lose a bit of the history.
Utz is nuts.
Yeah, Utz is nuts, but they still taste the same, and they've expanded to pretzel twist and all kind of stuff.
So are we gonna see like alligators along this road, or?
Now, eventually, you do plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right?
See, dead ones.
Potentially.
You might see nutrients.
Ted.
Crocs?
Potentially, yeah.
On the side of the road, they get
Not
in.
Crocs. Not Crocs. Crocs you'll find in Florida along with alligators, but in Louisiana you've got alligators.
Are we gonna see those fan boats?
Baton Rouge to New Orleans, I saw 7 gators on the side of the road.
Gators.
Dead?
Yeah, dead. Yeah, they get hit. Deer get hit. I mean, that's normal. Also, a lot of nutria-rats. We used to have a huge nutria-rat problem, but it's not.
What type of what?
Nutria. They were huge. They almost look like little beavers.
They're a
Nutra
invasive
rat?
species.
We ate them all.
It's
At
like-
least the steak.
Okay.
Rodents of unusual size.
So this is
Like a possum. Like a possum.
Oh, I never thought. Today, who would have thought?
They are.
Who would have thought that I would hear Princess
All right, right
Bride?
here on the left, guys. This was Zapp's
Oh,
right
they're
here.
cute.
This was it. This was the Zapp's facility, and you can see now it looks abandoned. They removed all the signage. That's the original building. This was their home office,
And this was their production
and now it's
facility.
Treasures of Life, and this was more production. And then they got bought out. Now it's ESP.
Now it's ESP
Valve.
Valve.
Very humble.
And we just entered the city, and now you're going to be leaving it in about 60 seconds. That's how big this place is.
What,
Is this Houma?
No. We're still an hour more.
Are we there yet?
We're still about an hour and 20 minutes away from home.
And only 55 miles for the speed limit?
Just right there in the city.
Yeah, so that looks kind of cute compared to a rat.
Oh, they're disgusting.
They are.
Yeah, they look
Why are
kind of
They were digging up the levees. That's why they started putting bounties on them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer.
I used to see him as a kid. I used to love. We'd hit the airline in Florida Boulevard. I don't know what you call that. Well, almost like clover leaf.
Clover leaf.
Yeah, the clover leaf.
Yeah.
And you'd see all these nutria rats just running around.
Is that really the name Neutral Rat?
Yeah.
N-U-T-R-I-A.
How big are they?
They're big. I mean, they're like
It's like
a little dog.
It is like a possum.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a little dog.
Possums are ugly.
But just imagine a big old thick rat
Big
tail.
sharp razor teeth.
Nasty, big, pointy teeth.
Do they eat dogs? Like, is that on the menu?
No, they were hunted, not hunters for sure.
Menu boys.
So does this area flood?
Now she's quoting Lord of the Rings. I've rubbed off on her too much.
Yeah.
I love that.
Meat's back on the menu, boys. Oh my word! Look at this.
Menu, boys.
Look at this bridge.
It's a beautiful one.
This is the Gramercy Bridge.
Well,
if
does
you
this
want to
area
flip it and
flood?
show
Because you
them.
see some of these buildings
Well, it's
are up
smooth.
Yeah.
on stilts. That's stilts.
Let's see. It will come into view.
Pilings.
Is that a levee right there?
Yeah, that's a levee.
After the and Ken
That's
knows.
a levee for a retaining
That's a
basin
retaining
for a
basin
plant.
for one of these plants. See,
We're
up
coming up on the
Industries
river.
Is one of the largest
Is this the
fertilizer plants
old
in the
Mississippi?
country, and we're about to
This
come
is the
up on
Mississippi we're about to cross, yes.
a fertilizer plant. Yeah, see
At
from the right,
Gramercy.
you'll see all the fertilizer outside. This is Cancer Alley, guys. You're literally the most dangerous place you can be for your health. Breathe
Because all
it in.
the lines, the power lines.
No, refineries and
Oh yeah,
all
okay.
that.
Old Man River, that old man river.
Beautiful.
You can't see Ken right now because the bridge is
We're doing the
on the camera screen, but yeah, Ken is experiencing pain.
Veterans Museum.
It
doesn't
just
know how the things
keeps rolling
I mean, it's just like,
along. Come on, everybody.
so it's
I don't know if you can see the other side of these buildings. No, they're closed right now. Sometimes you can see the fertilizer in there, and it's wild. No, you can't see anything right now.
They're just big bats in front.
It's just this huge orange. Sometimes they'll have it outside too. Let me see it from across the river. Oh yeah, we were talking about twit cards. You see, I've walked this platform right here, the one where that barge is.
Yeah.
You need a twit card to get on that because I work for a fire.
But yeah, that's a
systems.
fertilizer plant. That'd be like a that's
Wow.
not a container ship. That's a just like a bulk carrier.
Yeah, and what do we got all the way over there? Those are oil
More
refineries.
oil and gas. Most of it's oil and gas.
Yep.
Now is that Baton Rouge area?
No, Baton
No, no,
Rouge.
Baton Rouge is back
Way
up.
back there.
Okay.
You can't even see it.
And a lot of the communities you see here, and a lot of the people you see here, ancestrally traced back, were slaves. A lot of the people that you'll catch, especially up and down the Mississippi River, because if you do these tours, especially like Whitney and all these other different plantations, you can just almost see as if once slavery had ended, a lot of people just stayed. They didn't know where to go, and they just built a community there. And that's why you see a lot of that nowadays. And these people, a lot of plants are being built here, and they're stuck. You know, it's very difficult to leave your place. So any houses you see that are small neighborhoods that are near the river like that are normally larger black communities, and you should definitely do a plantation tour. There's some of the most well-kept, documented stuff is there, and it's worth the time if you visit the state.
And you mentioned Whitney. Whitney, honestly,
It'll change.
is one of the better
It is.
plantations to visit because they have stepped away from the traditional
Yeah.
display, and now their focus is 100% not on the big house and the family and the owners. It's on what the life of a slave was
Yeah.
truly like.
Yeah.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, I've
They
read
give
that.
the full
It's-
scope of
yeah.
the full
Yeah.
plantation.
I've read that they've switched their narrative.
Right,
Yeah.
the narrative is fully everything
Yeah.
about the plantation, not just the big house.
Well, it's about addressing the underdocumented,
Right.
right? And
Right.
the people that slip through the cracks of history.
There's so much to it that it leaves you much like what people witness when they go to concentration camps overseas, of just seeing the scale of everything. The scale of the operations were so massive that it makes you wonder how you can remember any of it, because there was just so many people that are lost to time through the production
Brace
of
the camera.
all the different things.
Brace the camera.
Brace it.
Oh, brace it.
I love that we have that blue tape.
Yeah, that's the Miss Molly
It's very high.
Miss
tech.
Molly
Hey, look.
special.
That's the USS KIDD budget right there. Y'all see that?
Blue Painter's
It's all
Day.
about film production and gaffers.
Anyways, didn't mean to make you all too emotional about that talk, but it is very interesting. Definitely worth the time to look at.
Well, and it's about telling the whole story, and that's where you were able to help us when I went up in September 2023, looking at how the former steward's berthing was set up on Cassignon and on Sullivan's, so that we can tell the whole story now for our crew. And I think you're going to be excited by seeing the changes.
Yes, I am really looking forward to seeing the change. I was following, I watched the video where you moved the hatch, to its proper place, and I'm looking forward to seeing.
The shipyard has done a fabulous job, and Parks has talked about in interviews and everything about one of the reasons that we chose Thomasy was the passion that they had for the project. Just like we're passionate about the ship, they're passionate about the ship. And they have gone kind of the extra mile in some areas of, I see you did this, and they're like, yeah. I was like, is that part of the contract? Don't worry about it. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. So, they throw in what people in Louisiana call a little lanyard, a little extra. So,
nice.
The redecking, bringing the fantail, bringing it forward to the K guns. I mean, they had some steel left over. They had some labor hours left over. Well, we wanted to do it, but we didn't know if we would have enough for all of it. And, a normal contractor may have just been like, okay, well, there's steel left over, there's hours left over, and never mentioned it. And these guys, reached out and they said, hey, we got some steel left over, we've got some labor hours left over. We can bring this all the way up and get rid of all of the cancerous steel for that galvanized steel that was compromised. We can get rid of it all, but we need you to go down and move the stuff that's the bunks and everything that's down there. Because we can't remove it, because how it needs to be put back together. So if you guys are willing to do that, we're willing to continue forward. I just thought that was fabulous.
Yeah, so instead of just bearing it,
just doing the bare minimum, what's in the contract and moving forward, they were concerned. We want to make it right. We want the ship to be as good as she can be when she leaves here. So
that's great.
They're fabulous.
So TNT was involved in the dead tug.
TNT came up as a subcontractor for Thomasy, and they got the ship prepared with, pumping out the ballast tanks and making sure her trim was good, making sure she wasn't going to roll, because Fletcher's have that narrow beam, and if you don't have your tanks ballasted just right, the least little thing will flip them. And that's any destroyer. But yeah, TNT prepped us. They worked with McKinney Salvage to get out of the cradle. And then they took and were headed downriver with us through the Gulf and up to the shipyard.
Yeah, you had that. Was that a nervous part of your trip? Was when you actually came out of the river and had to go around those islands?
For me,
yes, like
TNT
where you're almost into the open Gulf of Mexico,
right?
America.
TNT, Andy Barron wasn't worried.
They're good.
He was fine. Me, I'm worried. I'm like, if she goes down, she's gone. At least in the river, if something went sideways, we can rush over to the side and beach her like Nevada and Pearl Harbor. But not in the Gulf. It's not that fast. I was nervous about going in the Gulf. But we got through it. No problem.
And then once you got there, then the Thomasy crew took over.
Thomasy takes over. No, once we got into the yard, and we had doing the tow, we had Crosby doing the tow. Fantastic guys. Those boat crews, tugboat crews, pushboat crews were fabulous. We'd get a call. You guys doing all right? You need some food? We can. We're all stocked up. Once we pulled into the yard and the mooring lines went over to shore, TNT started packing up because they had another job they had to. And Crosby cast off and they headed home. She's been with Thomas E. ever since. And this is all in preparation for taking Sullivan's and Croker.
Yeah.
So
we have different.
So this is a first for you for dry docking.
Yes.
Yes. Just like it was for me. Yes.
Personally,
So this
yes.
is Kidd dry docking was the first for me. I'd never done one.
Yeah,
So,
you
but I
never
guess
had.
this
The
is
last
saying-
was
yeah,
probably like you. It was right after the
And that's just
decommissioning,
the last 28 days.
and March of
So let's
'65
go
was the
to
last time Sullivan's was dry docked.
Right.
You can see,
But for you
It's
personally,
still-
Shane
Me
Stevenson
personally,
personally,
yes.
you haven't gone through it
No,
yet. So you're doing exactly what we were doing because none of us had done a dry
is less
docking
than
before.
25%.
I had seen presentations by Rizzuto and by Technip with Slater and by Texas with Travis about what they had done going through dry dock. So we took a trip 3 years ago over to Houston.
Nice.
3 years ago, 2 years ago, I forget which. Time's flying. But we went to Galveston and toured the dry dock with Texas and talked with Travis and his crew, and they're doing a fabulous job. And then Orlick went to dry dock before transferring from Lake Charles to Jacksonville, and so we went to her dry dock in Port Arthur.
Well, and what I wanted to show
Because
you
she's
here
more
was,
similar to us than the battleship.
Yeah.
And that was very very informational. And then just reaching out to different people, hey, can you send me your after action reports?
Yes.
So the guys at Key West with the Ingram sent me theirs. We got Cass and Young's from back in 2012.
And then you absorb all that information and incorporate it.
Here's things I hadn't thought of. Here's things, okay, I knew about this, but I didn't know that particular angle of that.
Yeah.
TikTok,
So,
Facebook,
and just learn as much as we could.
He was great at that.
Yeah, I put together that survey where I sent it to
Yeah.
5 or 6 different organizations. What did you learn here? What,
Right.
and I've been just doing some other reading.
Maybe I should
Oh, we got a copper up there? Is that a copper?
Yeah, but I'm driving the speed limit. It's
So
good.
is TikTok back up and running?
So,
It's up, you can download.
but yeah, and
Show him the
talking about the hashtag One Fleet, how we all help each other. When you did that survey and was collecting information, because Cobia is going at the same time as or roughly around the same time period as Sullivan's and Croker, you pulled Karen at Wisconsin Maritime Museum into the conversation so she could learn as well. Because it's been, I want to say it was 96, 97, 98 since Cobia went. And that was Russell Booth, who used to be with Pampanito, who led that effort. So I don't know that anybody is still with the Maritime Museum up there that was involved with that dry docking.
Right,
So they're
same boat as
all of us. Yeah. So we're all learning together.
And I went to visit the COD, so I have that film and whatever that I can share with Karen. So I should reach out to her as well. And stay in contact with her.
And Paul and the COD was one of the ones that sent me their dry dock reports. Yeah, we all share. And then, of course, you guys were looking in your blueprints for the foundation rings for the 40 millimeters. New Jersey, Salem,
So that's how
Bama, Texas. Texas got us the blueprints for the rings for the quads.
So that guy.
But then I was having trouble finding anything on the twins, and Dwayne Gallagher at Hazard in Omaha had that. So that was fabulous. And at the same time, he thinks ahead. He came across the foundation for the twins, and he, because he sent me digitals, he also sent me a paper copy, a hard copy. I hadn't even opened up the hard copy. And I think you may have seen the video where we had some viewers. Black Sheep Fabrications came down from Arkansas 2 weeks ago, and they're looking at helping us put the ammo racks back on the gun tubs.
I have not seen that.
Okay, so that one's out in the queue. Somebody, one of the guys that works for him in the comments said, hey, we might be able to help you with some fabrication projects. Let us know. And so I said, email tnesmith@ussd.com, and he did. So it's like, okay, we talked, and they're like,
so I
we're going to need to come down
on YouTube,
and measure and
but,
everything.
you know, then you
So,
guys give us a story.
I reached out
So now the
and
San
to
Diego,
Dwayne, I
think
said,
it's the
you
San
had
Diego
the foundations for
Historical
the
Society, whatever.
twin mounts, the foundations. I said,
they're sold out
would you happen to have
all
anything
the
for
time
the racks
because of
that
this
went around?
Roger
Because
guy. And all
they
he
cut
does
everything off
is
of
videos
KIDD
of-
as far as the 40 millimeters went.
Signal
So
out here.
that
But it's
involved
videos
also
of,
getting rid of the
this guy
blueprints.
just-
We're in Lutcher now.
And
Sure.
But, yeah.
so I didn't have any blueprints for him, and he's like, "Oh, I sent them to you." I'm like, "You did?" He's like, "Yeah, they're in the box. You didn't open the box." I'm like, "No, because you sent me the digitals."
Right.
I said, "I just filed them away for the future." He said, "Open the box. You've got the ammo racks too." So I just yesterday I sent off, or Monday I sent off the ammo racks to Black Sheep. So they've got their measurements of the actual gun tub, and then they've got the blueprints from Hazard, which their gun tub may be a little bit different,
Yeah,
you know,
so check this out.
in there,
So
but
the
they'll have
Sacramento
how
History Museum.
wide
Look at
the
some of
racks
these
are,
shows.
the
223
measurements for the oval cuts, the distance
And
vertically,
watch.
so they'll
This
be able
is
to
all-
extrapolate from that, and then their measurements here,
Yeah.
and see, you know, what they can get the price down
This is
to.
what I'm trying to do with what we have.
We all have feelings
And you
about
go,
social media,
what is this
Yeah.
guy
but
doing?
this is
What-
This is an
something
example of
that
the
couldn't
good.
have been
It doesn't
done
matter because
Right.
I'm already
without
captivated.
those
It's like I don't know what's
partnerships,
happening
yeah.
here,
Yeah.
but
Like
I'm
with the
watching
ease
because
of
I want to see what's going to
communication,
happen next.
right.
Looking away, which is
No.
what
Social media can be used for good.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and he just keeps going.
So-
And in our case, it
and yet
is.
I'm watching.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
watching.
been
Now
very
he's got
helpful.
Partnering with Ken
thing.
and Omar and with Miss Molly
Oh, my God.
and Tim and Buffalo.
And he keeps doing it, and nothing's still happening.
We're still back here talking. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
That's-
There's a bunch of content.
So then he
What
puts
did I do? Don't hold
They're
on.
talking techie right
Yeah.
now.
Well, then it-
So, Tim, that we're in Houma?
I'm just not used to
Yes,
talking
we are in the
camera.
outskirts
I'm
of
sure I
Houma.
can get
Awesome.
into it.
You'll get
How much further?
Terrebonne Parish. Probably about, depending on stoplights, 5 minutes, 10 minutes max.
Yeah,
Awesome.
when I first started.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. There.
Cut the glare off of mine and Ken's head. My hair grows really fast.
Well, but when I
but
started,
not all over,
when I
just in
started
select
shaving my head,
areas.
you don't realize how many times you bump your head until you have no hair to
Oh, I
cushion the
could see.
blow.
I could see there. Huh?
And the scars are visible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 5,
Put him in
4,
charge of this
3,
camera.
2.
No one needs to do a
one.
countdown.
Yeah, let's do some introductions.
I'm
official.
not saying anything.
Okay. Well, we've got
I'm
3
Ken.
different
I'm from
channels.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Just talking right over. Just
And
talking right over.
we are
Yeah, so we've got 3 channels in the car.
So wait, so I have to ask a question about last night when we were having. So
About last night.
Yeah. So talking about the whole SS United States thing.
All right, are we going to do a proper introduction this time?
Yeah,
go ahead.
we could probably try again. I'm sorry, I was sitting here messing with my camera.
No,
settings.
no, it's good. I mean, Ken just kind of took over. I don't think he should, because this will probably land on their Holy moly, that's
But
awesome.
now show them how you can flip the camera around if you want it to look at you. So, see,
Sweet.
it's the coolest thing ever.
Is that a GoPro?
Off social
Yeah, but so
media.
the trend is changing. Okay.
Okay,
And the
please
reason
tell us about this. I'm serious.
You make me sound like an idiot.
No, I don't mean.
Shut up. You do. You're doing it right now.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. You're
I'm just
making-
being sarcastic, but I'm not trying to make you feel like a jerk.
Huh? I do. I feel small and.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. No. Please tell us more about the trend.
So,
I'm serious.
I know you're serious.
Come on.
That's why I'm laughing. All right. So, as I told you, I have multiple therapists, right?
Okay, I wasn't going to say anything.
You and Taylor
I am
Tomlinson
turning
both.
us off.
Yeah.
currently.
So